What's up everyone? Michaela threatens to punch Olivia in the face, and in Turbo's words, Theo is number one pussy-ass chicken. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your challenge breakdown. Right before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm here every single week breaking down the challenge vets and new threats for all you wonderful cats and kittens. Oh, I keep doing that Carol Baskin thing. Forget I said that. I'll be breaking it down every single week, as well as Survivor 49, and I'm joined by my wonderful Sam, my spouse, for the amazing Race European Adventure. So there's lots and lots of good TV when we're in this fall weather now, cozied up on the couch with our nice warm drinks. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single recap and breakdown. I'm also going to ask you all to hit the like button. It takes all of 0.2 seconds just to click that little thumbs up down there. It's completely free, and like I said, you can click it in 0.2 seconds and you've just helped somebody out massively with the YouTube algorithm, and that would really mean the world to me. So there's two things there, folks. Subscribe, like, let's get to the breakdown. Alright gang, 12 episodes into the challenge vets and new threats now, and the talking point really is still Olivia and the Brits versus the rest of the house. Now of course I'm divided because there's people I like on the rest side of the house, but of course I'm a Brit, so I like to see the Brits doing very well. There are obnoxious people on both sides of the house, and what I've got to admit as well as somebody, you know, you guys know this is my first full season of the challenge. I am fascinated by how we are 12 episodes in and there are still so many people left in that house. Absolute insanity to me, but the numbers are dwindling faster now that they're getting eliminated in twos. But we got to talk about the challenge today, which was The Running Man, sponsored by the Running Man movie that's coming out with Glenn Powell. I am intrigued by that movie, by the way. We went to watch what was the last thing we went to watch The Naked Gun earlier this year, and they had the trailer for The Running Man in there, and me and Sam looked at each other and we thought, oh, I kind of like this. This is like an action movie based on a reality TV show. And I'm not sponsored by The Running Man at all, but I do want to see that because I'm fascinated by the concept. So I thought that was cool that they had a little tie in there to today's competition. And of course, they had to open these big-ass crates. It reminded me of Dexter, you know, when he opens the thing and then Dokes comes out and it's like, surprise, motherfucker. Y'all know the moment. It reminded me of that. But then they would open this, then there'd be this old banger inside that they would have to, you know, it was manual. You know, they had to drive stick, and some of them couldn't do that, and some of them just pushed the car. It was absolutely wild. But it was absolutely no surprise that the winners of today's challenge were Aviv and Jeremy. When I look at Aviv and Jeremy, I see a god and a goddess. Like seriously, I'm not even joking. Like, those two are a powerhouse couple. I don't know. I've said, y'all, if you go back a few videos, they've been my winner predictions for a while now, unless something gets, you know, a little hiccup, maybe somebody stakes a claim here and succeeds, we'll see. But Aviv and Jeremy, holy moly, these two are fabulous at what they do. And I was actually shocked last week that they weren't in the bottom two. I didn't do a video last week. My throat was shot again after doing those other two videos, so I wasn't able to do a challenge one last week. But I was shocked that they were they went into the sand last week. But as soon as I found out they were going in the sand, I had no doubt in my mind that they were going to claw their way out of it. It's Aviv and Jeremy, come on, like, not even a doubt in my mind for even a split second. But yeah, they won today, back on top as they should be, and yeah, they are absolutely phenomenal. They are contestants to be reckoned with. If I was in the sand with them and I saw them, I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to call it quits now because it's game over. Now, Michaela made a comment in today's episode that had everybody talking, which was threatening to punch Olivia in the face. Now, I've been talking about how I've warmed up to Michaela as this season has gone on, because I wasn't a fan of her on Survivor because I thought I could just completely see through her, and I just thought she was a mean person. And I am all of a sudden realising that I think I might have been duped. I think Michaela is... I think she's a wolf in sheep's clothing on the challenge. I really do. I think she acts like she's matured maybe, but you know, just out here being like, I'm going to punch you in the face, like that's Michaela. There you go. That was a glimpse into who she actually is. And I don't know, I feel like I've kind of taken a step back and gone like, oh, maybe I don't like Michaela as much. You know, opinions can change depending on people's behaviours and the comments they make, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just back to where I was with Michaela, just thinking, yeah, you know what? I think she is actually very mean spirited and not very nice, if I'm being totally honest. So I do think I got a little duped there. But that's, I think, what makes her a good player in this game. I think she's good at making people think she's somebody that she isn't. But that little spill out there of threatening to punch somebody in the face, I mean, nobody else is... I don't even know. Like, there you go. That's it. I feel like that was a little spill out of the real Michaela. And I've kind of gone back to what I was like on Survivor with her, which was that, like, I think she is like a genuinely... It seems on from the way she carries herself on that she's a miserable, mean person, and I'm sad that she said that to Olivia. I'm not the biggest Olivia fan, but I ain't gonna be going around saying I've threatened to punch her in the face. Like, no, yeah, I don't know. That was a glimpse into that there, and I think that was the real Michaela. I want to talk about Turbo and Sydney for a second. Those two absolutely deserve each other. They are great reality TV, but good God, I mean, like. Oh, I couldn't trust either one of them as far as I could throw them. And he's the kicker. I wouldn't want to either. I wouldn't really want to be around them. I think, again, they are... I would say, not like energy vampires, but they are very egotistical. That's an understatement. I think both of them put this hard shell around them because the reality of it is they are both really, really insecure. And I don't know, that's why I struggle to warm to both of them, because even though, you know, they strut around like the badasses of the show and nothing can harm them, nothing can hurt them. I think they're actually scared of things hurting them and harming them, which is why they have this hard exterior of, I can't be hurt, I'm this badass, and, all this kind of jazz. But I really think they're actually very insecure people. Underneath. So that's kind of where I get there. They deserve each other. They are great as a team, but I called it a few weeks ago. I think their downfall is the fact that they're a great pair together, but their egos are going to get in the way. And I think we're already seeing that, how, people, they're ending up in more arguments than anybody else. Turbo is great TV to watch when he's screaming all these insults, but I tell you what a small man I get the impression of with this guy. I think he sits there and casts judgment to people that he think he can push around, but realistically, when push comes to shove, I don't think he would ever actually, put his money where his mouth is when there's somebody actually bigger than him, or, somebody who could actually beat his ass down in the sand. And that's why I just don't warm to him. But he's a good competitor as far as that goes, but I do think he picks and chooses his battles very, very carefully and meticulously. And I just don't warm to them. Now, when it came to the jury vote, it was very, very apparent, the split in the House. It was 5-3, with these numbers dwindling down, with 5 votes being for Theo and Adrienne, 3 being for Leroy in America. They're hanging on in there, Leroy in America, so good for them. But Theo and Adrienne, the Brits, were sent in to go up against Dee and Derek, the losers of today's challenge. I was interested going in because I find myself... in each pair, there's one I like more. In Theo and Adrienne, I like Adrienne more. And in Dee and Derek, I like Derek more. So I was conflicted going into this one. They had to do this whole pillow fight while sat on a beam over a thing of muddy water. I think I would have been good at this. I think I could smack somebody into the water with the pillow. I actually do like that. It's not often I look at a challenge and go, oh yeah, I think I could do that. But I think I could have done this one. I think I would have actually been alright at it. And it was neck and neck the whole way. Draw, because the shtick was, even if one person, if Dee knocked Adrienne into the water, then Derek would also have to knock Theo into the water to actually get a point. And it was just draw, because Derek couldn't knock Theo in. Theo just kept smacking him into the water, and Dee just kept smacking Adrienne into the water. So it was tiebreaker the entire way until they had to flip the damn coin to find out who it was actually going to come down to. And it was Theo and Derek. And Derek had been whopped in 5 times, so why would the 6th time make sense for him to knock Theo in? He didn't, and they were sent home. Dee and Derek are gone. I'm sad to see Derek go. I'll give you that. I like him. You know, I haven't seen much of him. I know he's been on the challenge forever. I don't know. I just warm to him. I really do. He's somebody where I want to see his previous seasons. I want to see his first season. I want to see how he did, you know, way back when. But yeah, commiserations to Dee and Derek for that one. That's the Survivor winner out. And Derek, an OG, a legend in the challenge as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that is that's a crushing blow, that. But I will say, I'm very proud of the Brits for hanging in there. Well done, Theo and Adrienne. They're not going down without a fight. And of course, Turbo's fragile insecurity made him lash out there at Theo towards the end. That's Turbo. He can act all big manly man all he wants, but let's be honest, he can go off like that because his self-confidence and actual security is like that thin. People who actually have confidence and believe in themselves don't fly off the handle that easy. That's the big tell. So, you know, you can call it a masquerade, and like people who lash out at people all the time, that's usually it's a case of pot kettle. And while, you know, you can be under the impression when somebody's lashing out that, you know, they're strong and powerful and they're good and they're doing what they should, the realisticness of that is it's a facade. The lashing out is a facade for what actually truly lies underneath. And that's what I think is the case with many men who go on like that, and Turbo is included. That is all of your challenge breakdown for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. Definitely a cut and dry episode today that was very straightforward in terms of the edit and nothing kind of out of the ordinary. It really is just, these numbers are just slowly going down of the rest of the house versus Olivia and the Brits, which I'm finding interesting to see. I want to see things get a little spiced up though, if I'm being totally honest. I think, I'm not saying it's stale, I'm not saying it's sterile, but what I am saying is I think it needs something new added into the mix. I feel like week after week it is very much just the rest of the house versus that, versus Olivia and the Brits, and there isn't kind of much kind of deviating from that. However, people are starting to argue more, people are starting to scream more, shout more, which means that things are getting deeper, interesting, and, you know, we're getting towards the back end of the season now, so I'm sure things are going to heat up as the weeks go on. But I would love to know what everybody else is thinking of this season. Who do you think is going to win? Are you with me, thinking Aviv and Jeremy are going to be the winners? Because that's what I'm saying. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I want to thank everybody for your support over the weeks for the challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're all staying safe, staying positive, and staying healthy out there. And remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next challenge breakdown, I've been your host, Tom VASEY. Good night.